In my previous video, I spoke about the word N and the word U. Yo, that's crazy. The sun is just coming out now that I started to speak. I cannot make this up. You can probably see it from the light that is emanating on my face. But anyway, crazy. So in my previous video, I spoke about the word N and the word U, and how the word N, the first two lines, they create a 90-degree angle, and the second line and third line, they create another 90-degree angle, and they create both 180 degrees. And I call them the 180 degrees of knowledge, of positive knowledge, as opposed to the other 180 degrees that are, let's say, the less pleasant aspect of your reality, but that anyway create the fullness of who you are, 360 degrees, right? So it's interesting because this is, as I said, it's a download that I had, and as I stated in the previous video, a download is, a loading that we have on this earthly experience as spiritual beings that, in a sense, have the burden of carrying, as the Christians say, the cross, carrying all this knowledge and, let's say, wisdom in a world that's really in a slumber. But this is what we are meant to do. God doesn't give you more than you can bear, right? So yeah, we can handle this. So I spoke about the N and the U. You must watch my previous videos in order to understand more what I'm talking about now. So if you take the word N and U, which, as I stated before, means to go inside you, to meditate, that is the basis for enlightenment. We know that you don't need me to know this. You just know this as a superficial knowledge based on the Eastern, sciences. The whole world knows this. And I'm not going into Eastern, Western. I'm talking about meditation and enlightenment specifically. But the word N and the word U, which means go in you, unlocked a door. This is how spirit works, right? So once you give energy to something, that energy replies to you. And if you are in alignment, as I am, certain doors, certain gates open. And what has opened for me? The sky has been open for me. I would say heaven. Personally, I would say heaven. The doors of heaven have opened for me. And what I found is the goddess of ancient Kemet. She found me, the goddess of ancient Kemet, Nu or Nut. And I was like, wow, Nu and Nut. The N and the U go in you. I went inside me, I delivered this message. Therefore, the universe is blessing me even with more revelations, as above, so below, as within, so without. So, the goddess Nu, she is portrayed. You can watch the ancient hieroglyphs. Plus, I went to Kemet, recently. So, this is happening anyway to me. But, I guess you unlock certain powers, when you go to watch, to visit certain sacred places. But anyway, the goddess Nu or Nut, she's depicted as the night sky, and she's arched over, her consort, which is Geb, and she's over also her father Shu. This is all Kemetic stories. Not only she's arched over, but the way she's arched over, she does create a right angle, and this fits perfectly in what I was talking about in my previous video. I was talking about the 90-degree angles, and by making an analogy of the favorite sexual position, which is 90-degree angle, generically speaking. This is as far as I hear from people, and obviously, we're talking about, sacred science, because the download I had, it's about numerology, geometry, and this sacred connection. Therefore, when I mention sex, and in this case sexual position, I'm just completing this circle in the sacredness of you know, of this reality we are in, of this sacredness, as in this essence, this experience, right? So yeah, I must make that point clear, right? So she's depicted as a 90-degree angle, and as I stated, is people perfect sexual position, and I'm like, wow, see how the energy replied, you know? This totally skipped my mind, and I'm like, I'm not saying that I was doubting my download of the 90 degrees angles and the further 90 degrees angle of knowledge pertaining to meditation with the word and go in you. But I wasn't doubting that, but I'm not sure if I have to say that the universe is showing me that I'm right with that, with my download, and it's showing me the goddess Nut depicted in that position with the word, of course, NU, and at the end also the word T, which is my initial, so new T, and in a sense, like, it's a new version of me, new Nut, N-U-T, a new version of me, the meditation I was talking about. So in a sense, I see it as a confirmation, because maybe I was doubting, I don't know, maybe subconsciously, maybe unconsciously, but also that's the nature of energy. So you give energy to energy, it comes back to you, and it multiplies, right? As we say, you know, these energies don't die, we don't die, we multiply, you know. And yeah, this is confirmation to me, and that's powerful, you know, because I actually wanted to, before making those two videos about meditation, I wanted to make a video about Enlil, who is the half brother of Enki. You know, we come from Enki, that lineage, you know, that bloodline. As far as I'm concerned, based on my insight, based on my research, and based on the proof that I'm receiving here and there. So we are Enkite, we are of the bloodline of Enki. So I wanted to make a video about the half brother. You know, it's always the story of the half brothers. That's the reality we are living in, the dichotomic reality, if dichotomic is a word. Dichotomy is a word, but I don't know if dichotomic is right. That's the reality we are in, you know. The brother of light that are fighting against, you know, the brothers of darkness, you know. And that's a reality, you know. It's something that we experience in our own household in general, you know. If you hear stories here and there, or if you even look at your own family or your own reality, right? So Enlil is translated as En is Lord, and Lil stands for Lord of the Airways, so Lord of the Air, so the Prince of Air. Remember who's the Prince of Air? You know, is referred as Satan, right? The Prince of Air. Spider or something like that. But anyway, so, but my own energy, or this energy, shifted me towards the governor of the sky, you know. Shifted me towards, you know, the Kemetic pantheon. It shifted me towards the Kemetic, you know, true spiritual power from which I come from. And that led me to Nut, which is the governor of the sky, you know. She's the sky in ancient Egypt. She's arched over, you know. And it makes sense, you know. I guess I am driven more to release a positive message rather than focusing on, you know, the negative aspect. Although I will make a video about and a little about, I think it's imperative that we have to prioritize something that is positive, you know, something that has a certain good resonance with our spirit, rather than, you know, getting the information out about certain entities. I mean, some of you are not even ready to hear like certain negative stuff, so I'd rather just keep it positive in a sense, because many people are just thrown out about something that is stronger than them, you know. as in this case, you know, certain occult powers, that they have a certain restrictive hand on people, on our people, and the world in general, the planet in general. So, you know, I guess I'm assigned to do something lighter, not all the time, but this time I'm definitely assigned to leave a message that is lighter, as in light. And yeah, so yeah, going back to Nut, she's the governor of the sky. She's the protectress of yeah, of the dead. And wow, you know, I chose the image of I actually chose the image of my previous video with the turquoise skies behind me, and that's actually how she's depicted in the hieroglyphs, Nut, you know, with the night skies, you know, the turquoise, and which is represented, which is actually made of lapis lazuli, which is a stone, a precious stone, which you find there, you find it in Afghanistan, you know, and it was usually used to represent these skies, you know. Kings used to have them on them. Tutankhamun, you used to have a lot of lapis lazuli, you know. And I was actually tempted to buy a necklace with lapis lazuli, although I didn't want to. I didn't want to because, you know, just negotiation with the people that are now there in Egypt is just not like that. As a whole, I mean, generically speaking, you know, we've been conquered. Don't like them. Don't like their ways. Don't like the way of the invaders. But anyway, so lapis lazuli, and what I saw is a necklace of the scarab beetle, which, by the way, around last year I dreamt about the scarab beetle. And the scarab beetle, if you don't know, represents rebirth, represents the sun, the early morning sun, the rising sun in the east, the rising sun in the east. And it's famous, the image of the scarab beetle itself, you know, carrying this huge bowl of dung, and apparently that represents metaphorically, you know, him carrying the sun, Keper. He's called Keper in ancient Kemet, you know, the scarab beetle, the Necher. The Necheru, which is an energy, right? It's spiritual forces, spiritual energies. So the scarab beetle carries this huge ball of dung, and that apparently represents the journey of Keper, the early morning sun, towards, you know, towards west. You know, it's the journey of the sun. And yeah, it makes sense that they use also lapis lazuli to make a Keper. And why? Because, you know, story has that Nut, which represents the night sky, swallows the sun. So it's as if the sun then becomes, you know, blue, swallowed by Nut, by the night, you know. It goes back into that darkness. And then once again it rises, right? There's also a movie that is called Scarab Beetle. Actually, it's called Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle. It's called Blue Beetle. It came out this August. Actually, around the time I was in Egypt, I believe. And it makes sense. The Blue Beetle represents the Scarab Beetle and the journey that it makes across the sky. And it's blue because, in my opinion, you know, that blue representing also the throat chakra, representing communication. We are definitely in a time where this scarab, you know, us, you know, Heru consciousness, the heroes, are stepping up in the quest of resurrecting, you know, our ancient lineage, you know, our ancestral powers, and that means our ancient cultures. And in this case, in my own specific case, and perhaps you that you are listening, you know, we are resurrecting ancient Kemet. Even you, by simply listening, you know, certain seeds are being planted into you now, and my frequency is reaching you. And it reached you because you were meant to, right? Therefore, something is happening to you on a conscious level. So, Nut. Nut, in a sarcophagus chamber, there's these words: Nut, your mother, spreads herself above you. She conceals you from all evil. Nut protects you from all evil. You, the greatest of her children. Right? So, yeah, basically, this is who we are. We are the sons and daughters of this ancient Kemetic culture. And especially, I mean, I always end up speaking about my lineage, especially you. I'm talking about Eritrean. You are the ones I can relate to because, you know, I came down here back in my lineage as reincarnated, right? Or maybe I did decide to incarnate at this time from ancient times because I had to give you my piece of the puzzle and resurrect this ancient legacy because it belongs to us. And going back to the scarab beetle, talking about the blue beetle, the movie, I didn't even watch it, which has to do with water, currency, you know, the sky, Nut, that color blue, electricity. That is symbolic of us talking power into existence. You know, and us talking power into existence is necessary, and I said before, imperative, you know, to go back in those ancient times, because those ancient times are nothing but a glimpse to the future. Although the future, it cannot hold simply something that has been before, because you know we are a creative people, you know, especially of indigenous people, African people. So we will add our own twist to it. But we are coming back from a slumber, and we need teaching. We need teachers, and teachers of the past. You know, we came back for this purpose. And we slowly but surely reawakening thanks to our sun in the sky, which is shining now more than ever today. I feel it. You know, it's listening to me. The sun is conscious, you know. It's probably guiding my words now. You know, I'm on the same frequency. Always been. I always love the sun. Always love the sun. So yeah. So this is the message, and we're coming out now because, you know, the words of the teacher are, be hidden until a new heaven give birth to children that are worthy of your wisdom. And this is a reality, you know. I struggle with the words sometimes of the teacher because up to who? Up to who? Or up to what we have to stay hidden or concealed? How are we gonna realize it's the right time? We really don't know. The other time I was writing something about Tahuti with my purple pen, and you know, and it's crazy because I was thinking, I wonder when it's gonna run out of, you know, ink, this pen. And it's kind of new. I didn't write much with it, and I was writing something about Tahuti, and the pen just simply stopped. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's an indicator of me not supposed to write or put down certain thoughts about Tahuti, because, you know, We cannot cast pearls unto shrines, as the Bible says. Yeah, we cannot cast pearls unto shrines, you know. And we saw what the world has become. We know what they've done with our sacred knowledge of the past. We know what they did with the teachings of the Houthi, you know. They use everything, you know, with malevolent purposes. So yeah, 222. Yeah, I just saw it now. And somebody, I don't know, a certain animal just, it's not an ibis. No, I heard like, wah, wah. It's not an ibis. So yeah, I don't know. So everything has confirmation. But yeah, what else I wanted to say? So yeah, I spoke about Nut. So yeah, again, Nut, Nu, and you, go in you. You know, this is what I received and I'm giving it to you. And again, you know, the blessing will multiply. That's the beauty of life and reality, you know. I think that too many times I myself and us in general, you know, I actually want to inspire you now to speak up about stuff, you know, to spread a certain positivity, because this is something that I'm realizing in my life and I'm seeing it more than ever, that, you know, it's about changing gear. It's about changing gear. So first gear, second gear, and just things then become natural to us. I'm telling you, especially when it comes to spirituality and share this stuff with like-minded people, you know. Believe me, I'm not the type that would go out there and, you know, speak up and things like that. I'm rather, you know, reserved. I'm very reserved. Although I light up. I light up when it comes to spirituality. I light up when it comes to truth and knowledge and, you know, certain wisdom, especially ancient wisdom. It's just my domain. It's just my territory. And when I find like-minded people, it's just, you know, there's a certain energy that awakens me. Just, you know, there's inside of me a chemical reaction that, you know, just give me happiness and makes me feel fulfilled. But you know, it's a burden on us, because we all know that we are spread around in you know, and we somehow isolated by our soul people, and it's not easy at times. It's not easy at times because, you know, we are surrounded by the walking dead, or also the soon to be awakened, hopefully and thankfully, thank you, by our words and our deeds, you know. But yeah, this is I enjoy this journey, to be honest with you. I enjoy this journey, although obviously it's not easy, but that's the reality. I like challenges, you know. Just, I mean, it's my DNA makeup, you know. This is who we are. Our soul journey, you know, it's a witness, you know. We came all this way. We came all this way into this reality, in this transitional period. And look at us. Look how strong we are, man. Look how strong we are. This is probably the lowest we've been in. You know, this is the lowest we've been in the home of our invaders. Because this is the reality. And most of us really glorify the invader. I'm like, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. But yeah, I'll shut my thoughts for a minute. And yeah, this was the message. Nut, going new. Probably forgot something, I'm sure. As soon as I, you know, press the stop button, something will come to my mind. I don't want it to happen. What is that I'm missing? What is that? What is that? Yeah, basically this is the message. Basically this is the message. So it's Nut, you know. It connects to my message of the video of Aurora Borealis mission, Miss Iron, and you know, it's the hand of the mother up there. And as I stated in my previous video, I said, you know, I'm leaving this message because I'm a 4th of July baby, so I'm baby's mama, born on with this nurturing cancer energy, right? So the hand of Mother Universe is behind me. So you see how I stated something which I know for sure to be real, but the energy is like, oh, you're acknowledging this, good, I give you more. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. So give energy to energy, and it will reply to you, you know, whether you're right or wrong. But then at the end of the day, you're the creator of your reality, you know. Doesn't matter when you were born, doesn't matter if you think you're mama's baby or not, right? If you think that you're mama's soldier, if you think that you're mama's skink, it doesn't matter. I think that, trust me, you're creating your reality. Maybe the energy will reply to you because, you know, there's open possibility, I would say, for almost everybody. Then again, you know, you must feel this. If you're of a certain lineage, you know, if you're of a certain spirit, you know, if you are righteous, if you are good-hearted, you know, and all this stuff, you know, you awaken a lot. You know, if you cultivate your energy through various ways and very different sacred sciences, whatever you want to call it, you know, the universe will give something to you. And the reason why I'm able to speak this way, although I must say that I'm hard on myself because I'm not very happy on how, you know, I actually deliver I'll be honest, I'm not very happy on how I deliver my messages and how I would like to put everything together. I'm way better to write it down where I can think, overthink, and add my creative twist to it. But, you know, and but it really doesn't matter, you know, the energy will reply to you, and it will humble yourself as well, you know, at the same time. It will empower you, but also humble yourself, because the more you know you don't know, first of all. The more you know that there's an infinite energy and spirit that ultimately we call, you know, in the ancient culture, the nature, which is the all energy within one, right? The one and the all, so to speak. So the more you know that, you know, the journey is long. The journey is long. Although we are in this transitional period, you know, and we're talking about perhaps ascending to a new reality in our next, you know, journey of life, whether some people will reincarnate here or whether they will proceed above. And as I'm stating now, because this is the message that I'm giving, is proceeding above with Nut. It's going beyond this sky, you know, going beyond this reality, you know, this dome that we have here on Earth is going above and beyond, you know. And who knows, for many might be going back to Orion, which is identified with Asar, the righteous king. Or maybe some of you will say Sirius, you know, that we know from ancient times, you know. The original calendar year was starting actually in ancient Kemet, you know, around the days of the so-called dog days, which is the beginning of July, the 4th of July, which is a festivity that was taken from those ancient times, let's say ritualistically, right? So that was the beginning of summer. The hot days, they're called the dog days because Sirius is the dog star constellation. And it's interesting, right? You know. And a message that I want to leave to you, man, is leave your dog days behind, man. Yo, listen, leave your dog days behind. Like, chasing women like in that way, you know, trust me, you better off attract. Even if you're a man, you better off attract like magnetically rather than chase like that. I'm not saying that you as a man, you know, I know you as a man, you feel some type of way if you chase, and you know, and it's, you know, something that is encoded in your DNA and vice versa, women, you know. But you know, the reality is, you know, you'll find more fulfillment stopping your dog days and rather magnetize whatever you want, and in every aspect of your life, you know. Whereas you can magnetize, you know, I mean, doesn't mean you don't have to act, but I'm saying you can magnetize, you know. That's true spirit power. So, and the reason why I'm connecting to the dog days is because you know, you cannot go from girl, and I just realized I forgot something by way of numbers that I saw on the screen. So it's, you cannot go from girl to girl, bed to bed, you know, and release energy like that, you know, going around with any woman. Like, you know, you see women like, you know, they might seem good to you, nice to you, but you must know people. I realize in this, you must know people who you sharing your energy with, your sacred energy, your sacred sexual energy, right? So that's dangerous, man. That's dangerous. Like, I don't really want other people spiritual attachment or certain spiritual entanglement with me, you know. My energy is sacred. I don't know if you see that the way I'm speaking to you, because I'm just a person on a screen. I don't know if you can see and feel that, but think about it, man. That is sacred. And I know that that's also in your nature. I told you, leave your dog days behind. I know it's in your nature that, you know, especially as a spiritual person, I would say, with a strong energy, you know, as somebody that maybe, you know, always sunbathe, sun gaze and stuff like that. I mean, let's be honest, radiation makes you feel some type of way, gives you a certain strong energy. What I'm trying to say is, you know, the energy can be used for something more purposeful, you know. So go from the root, you know, from your sacral to the crown. That's what I'm trying to say, you know. It's just, it doesn't mean you don't have to seek for relationships, not seek, but because I said before, I'm talking about magnetizing. Doesn't mean you don't have to magnetize women in your life, because, I mean, come on, let's be honest. I mean, we can play hard as much as we want, but we want women in our life, you know. You know, I mean, I don't see a world without women. Come on. And eventually it's that sacred connection, you know, that got us here. So that is powerful. And as I said it in my previous video, you know, I think this is the message that Nut, go in you, is giving me, you know. Go in you and you'll see that, you know, we can make better connections, you know, with women, our women especially, right? Talking about us ancient people, right? We need that. So we must make those connections back. You know, we must go back to a certain harmony that we achieved in ancient times, you know, especially in this society where everything is overly sexualized, man. Everything is about, you know, sex, advertisement here, there, nudity, you know. I know most of you are desensitized. I know for a fact that most of you are desensitized. See a naked woman, you know, don't even have the impulse of, you know what I'm talking about, because you're desensitized. Watching fucking porn, like at your age, you know, that's ridiculous. Like, of course I did watch porn in my days, yeah. I'm not saying I didn't. I'm coming out like, you know, I mean, let's be honest, who didn't? As a man especially, who didn't? I'm sure that women do that too, but, you know, thank God I had a moment in my life, I'm like, and I've never been so, like, oh, porn and stuff like that, but I don't know, something happened in me, like, clicked. And I'm like, man, think about it, like, watching other people having sex, I know something shifted me, I would say. When was it? I was maybe um, probably 26. And it's around the time also where we had a certain radiation increase on this planet. You know, I remember when I was in London and the sky was purple. And around that time, I have a strong spiritual awakening. Like, it's the moment where I started to question more. Before I was like, I always had a certain conscious ability to think for myself and rather independently, but still at the same time, you know, I was nowhere where I am now, as in terms of thinking, of course, decoding, reading people, so on and so forth, you know. So you need experience, right? Even though you are an ancient being, even though you are a giant, even though you are the god that you worship, because yeah, this is the reality. You might be the deity that you worship, right? You still have to go through this reincarnation or incarnation wheel and start from scratch. And we agreed to this. We agreed to this. Let's say it's part of our contract. And we are strong enough to endure this. So I mean, think about it. This is nothing. Think about your numbers of years that you've been in this life compared to what you see throughout your journey of incarnation, reincarnation, throughout your whole soul journey. This is nothing. Although it seems hard to handle, but this is nothing. Think about it. Think about the number of people that, you know, you killed. Think about the person that you put sentenced to another world. You know, think about the burden that you had because of that. Think about the time where you maybe were killed, right? Think about the losses that you suffer in another lifetime, you know. And I know we come all with this baggage of the different soul journeys, but if you measure the weight on the scale of Ma'at, you know, and you consider this lifetime and what you've seen, what you know, have suffered so far, it's just, we were built for this. Plus, we are infinity. We are infinite beings. So nothing can really stop us. You know, as I stated before, you know, Nut protects you from all evil. You are the greatest of her children, and this is the reality. You know, I don't want to go on a rant, but I'm realizing more and more, like, the more you increase in your spiritual power, the more you become sort of untouchable, always with righteousness in your heart and mind, though. The more the obstacles will present it unto you, as in the form of people, you know, trying to stop your walk, preventing you from running. Nah, man. We were born for the marathon. Like, they cannot stop us running. They cannot stop us walking in the first place. And unpleasant things will happen to them. You know, you really have to control your mind. You really have to control your emotions. Because as of now, as in the level of energy, the level of power that you are acquiring by the universe, what you're unlocking, you know, in your DNA, what you're awakening, which is a giant, and psychic powers, you must be careful what you think. And if you think bad of others, you know, even if it's people around you, you might harm them, you know. Your emotion, which is simply anger, you know, can result in them being harmed. I promise you, because I did that to people around me. Like, You know, psychic powers are real. Doesn't matter if they're brothers, cousins, uncles, mother, father, you know. You now, with the power that you have, and I'm specifically speaking to the people that has stayed with me 40 minutes. This is the 40th minute, because most of the people are like, 40 minutes, what is he talking about? I know those people, I'm talking to those people, and I know that for a fact. You have to be careful. So if you feel like condemning somebody, you know, and hurt them, and be God or Goddess, because you are God and Goddess, go ahead and do it. If you think that you will be free of karma, go ahead and do it. If you want to wait for the universe, you know, to have its vengeance, you know, do it, because it's law. He gave us the law, the hermetic laws. So we know how it works. But be careful, because you can really harm people. You know, it's beautiful, but at the same time, it's a great responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. And yeah, you know, I'm delighted that it's like this, because trust me when I tell you, I don't want nobody to be my way, although that's how it's designed. You must have obstacles, you know, to increase your power. You know, if you are stepping up on the, you know, on the pyramid, you know, you also have to struggle and suffer. That's the reality, you know, in every endeavor that we put ourselves in. But again, be careful with your powers, man. Be careful with your powers, psychic powers, because I know that you're not gonna go around, you know, fighting people and things like that, although that's an option. And that's another aspect as well, like, you know, the fighting, you know. And shall I say this or not? But okay, I'll leave it to this. I'll leave it to this. You know, when you increase spiritual powers, even if it's a physical fight, which is not something that you plan to go into, it's not something that you really plan to go into, right? As spiritual people, but we're ready to do that. We can be ready in many ways, whether you exercise and, you know, do fighting sports or not, and, you know, you have that kind of discipline or not. But we're ready for the worst as well, right? So when you increase your spiritual power, it's just, you're not gonna get knocked down easily. Trust me, I know that as a fact. You're not gonna get knocked down easily. And science, and this is based on my experience and what I saw, if you have that connection with your true divinity, your true power, and with your guides, science will be along the way. First of all, they will warn you not to go to war, so to speak. But second of all, if you will, those signs along the way will be put into place to show you that you can be unbeatable or undisputed, as I put in the video of Wesley Snipes, where he was playing actually the character of the Buddha. You can be undisputed, regardless actually of your fighting skills, perhaps. You know, it's a spirit. You know, you have to fight with spirit. There's a spirit in you that prevents you from losing. Trust me, I guarantee you that. And that's actually how certain wars have been won. And I'm not gonna go inside, you know, those wars. You know, I'll leave it at that. But you can win the war simply by spirit, you know. You can create your invisible armor. And that's the armor of God. I actually spoke about the armor of God in my previous video. Yeah, Under Armour. So yeah, this is my message. Be careful with your powers. Use them righteously. Yeah, that's it. Much love to the Nacheru, the ancient ancestral energies, my ancestors, you know, my spirit guides, and all the beings that are on my side. The Creator, and whoever is on my side. Much love to Nut and her energy that chose me to deliver this message. And of course, it's a shot that she says that by way of numbers, everything is ordained. And her consort, of course, Tahuti, the infinite consciousness.